Want to find out how to shoot catapults like a superhero? We're in a village hall in South Wales for the British Catapult Association's first indoor championships. The UK's top shots are here, going through the heats in the long-distance 20-metre competition, with all the highs and lows you get from a top-flight sport. Three of them are going to talk us through techniques for OTT, Gangster and Pickle Fork. First, what's the competition all about?
10 shots, 3 to qualify.
20 metres is a long way, not many people practice for 20 metres, so you don't see the best of scores get put in.
Asa there, the Lamborghini designer of the catapult world, and today being what at Bisley they would call a butt marker. Let's go to our first star masterclass, and it is with Ambrose Draper.
I lift and I've got a reference point here, anchor point here. My reference point is the corner of my fork tip, and if I put that on the target, I should stand a chance of hitting it sometimes.
Back in the hall, and it's tough going for one of the established kings of the catapulting world, Keith Dighton. The pressure of organising this competition and competing in it may be too much. Keith is a regular champion, and his speciality is shooting Gangster.
There's several styles of doing it, but the Gangster way of shooting is essentially you're cupping it in your hand and you're aiming down the bands.
Now, why is it called Gangster? I don't remember Al Capone using one of these.
I know, but modern day gangsters tend to be, pistol on the side sort of thing, and that's someone just dubbed it Gangster. But it's the most easiest way to shoot consistently accurate out of all of them, purely because what you're doing is, for example, I anchor in my pouch around about my mouth here, so it's underneath my dominant eye. So if you're anchoring there and you're looking down the bands, essentially you have all you can see with your dominant eye is a line. So that projectile will travel in that line, and then all you've got to look at is your elevation.
It's not just out on the grass that I'm learning new techniques. For instance, what's this sucking of the balls before you shoot them? And yes, I really did just say that.
I can load faster from my mouth than going in my pocket.
Another well-known face from catapulting is Gamekeeper John, who runs a popular YouTube channel.
This one here is a TTF shooter, which means through the fork. So basically you shoot it sideways on, and as opposed to the bands going over the top, which a lot of people do, which is called OTT, this one comes through the fork. So when shooting, the ball, when you let go, actually goes in between the forks. This one's my design. This one, I've got little aiming aids in it. I don't know if you can see them in the camera. You pull back, you see a little dimple in the middle. That's what I put on the target. This point here is called my reference point. Get them two lined up, sort of like open-sighted air rifles. You got your point there, and this would be your backside. As long as you bring that to the same place, you sort of get the same sighting, which is good. Obviously for elevation you need to aim a bit higher at certain distances, but once you've shot enough times you'll soon work out where to aim and that. The last year or two it seems to have come back in a lot. It used to be all the over the top ones which pulled over, but it's getting really popular, this style now, and not all, a majority of the top shooters are now shooting it. Just seems to be more accurate, if I can say that. Most will disagree, but people seem to be switching to it. So
Another favourite form of the sport is a tiny catapult you can secrete almost in the palm of your hand. It's called a Pickle Fork, and it comes with its own technique.
It originated in America with a young fellow called Daryl, or DeGooey, known as PF Shooter, and he's all over YouTube with it. He's big on the American forums, and it sort of came over here about 5 or 6 years ago with Toddy. I don't know if you met Toddy at the old shoots, no? And Toddy pushed the sport forward, and then we all just started to experiment and play and make our own versions of them. Load the pouch, twist. I shoot Gangster, so it's very awkward for other people to do it. Most people shoot a pickle fork with a tweak and a twist over the top.
Now that twist is really important. Why is that?
The twist, it's so you don't hit your fingers or your thumb or the fork. There's no gap, so the ball has to go over the top. Ball's in there. As you tweak, it's got to lift. If you fired it like a conventional catapult, you'd hit your hand and the fork.
Okay, well, a pickle fork basically is made originally for speed shooting. It has a small fork gap, so if you're shooting it, basically the ball cannot travel through that gap. And the idea is when you're shooting it, it's really mainly fronting is it's quick. You just release it in one fluid motion. You push forward and you twist your body. Well, anyone who sees me shoot knows I take a long time to shoot. With this, it's different because you don't aim at a target. You look and let your hands do the work.
Now, we have come all the way to Wales. We cannot not find out who wins. At 20 metres, do you need fire in your blood or ice?
I don't really know. To be quite honest with you, I think you need to be ice. I think you need to be cool as a cucumber to be able to hit that sort of target at that sort of range. I've done it. I know other people have done it, but it's different doing it in your back garden or on a practice range than it is up against a seasoned pro. You know, it's nerves, basically. Nerves in the day are a big killer. You can be the best shot in the world in the day, but if you can't hold your nerve.
They shoot at the 10 knockdown targets for 10 points each. Then they shoot another tiny target. If they hit it in the bullseye, it multiplies their score by 1.5. There are 2 heats. That's Gamekeeper John nearest the camera. But watch out for young Jack Davis in the middle, sporting the 9.5mm bling around his neck. He's shooting well today. The pressure really starts to build now, and it's too much for John. He crashes out with just 30. Jack's looking good with 60 points. Can they hit the multiplier? Nope, they all miss it. The second and final heat takes place. David West is shooting straight, and it could all come down to the bullseye. David is shooting the targets on the left. He gets it. But is it enough to win the competition? Keith tops up the scores and makes the announcement.
First place, Jack Davis.
Yeah, really pleased, yeah. No, that's my first one. Yeah.
If you want to watch our film about last year's championships, click on the link on the screen. To find out more about the British Catapult Association, go to facebook.com/BCA events.